So hello, welcome back. So by the thumbnail, you already know I'm going to talk about ATK Mohun Bagan because that was something that I got request about, and also it's something which I had done a presentation or a collection of slides or photos few weeks back, stating how they play and what is Antonio Lopez Habas, which is the coach right now, what he likes to play, and is are they the favorites this season? I mean, like they are. I mean, they're second, I think, along with Mumbai City FC, and I think they are one of the favorites. So we'll talk about what happens and how does ATK Mohun Bagan play, especially on the track record of how Antonio likes his teams to play, especially ATK, whom he managed last year, and uh, and made them win the ISL in Super League. And so yeah, so I'll just give a brief history about ATK Mohun Bagan, for those who do not know what they are. So they are a team in the Indian Super League right now. So basically, they were two teams. They got merged this year, ATK and Mohun Bagan. Mohun Bagan, one of the most historically famous clubs of India, along with East Bengal, and they are over a century old club and one of the most successful in terms of the Indian League, and also they have had their presence in the continental stage. ATK primarily a new club. They started when the league started, with the Indian Super League started. So it is the seventh edition. So 7 years back, ATK was formed, and ATK are one of the most one of the are the most successful Indian Super League team. So they won it three times, the inaugural season, and they won it last year. And once they won between, I forgot which year it is. I think just 2015, if I'm not wrong. So they have won it three times. I think only Chennai have won it two times. So I think they are the most successful. So the merger between two clubs, that is ATK and Mohun Bagan, took place this summer, because Mohun Bagan was playing in the I League along with East Bengal, which, and for both of them to come up, they required backing and sponsors or whatever you call it. And ATK, the board members and Mohun Bagan board members felt it is the right way to go forward, and of course that is their own personal decisions. And I think it has proved to be a fruitful merging, because ATK Mohun Bagan are second right now in the table, and are one of the favorites to going ahead, like into the second half of the season. So we'll move on. That is a kind of a gist of what Indian Super League, of what the teams are. So ATK last year's champions of the Indian Super League, Mohun Bagan last year's champion of the I League, and so both the champions merging and playing this year as ATK Mohun Bagan. Although the coach who coached ATK, who coached Mohun Bagan, Kibu Bhikuna, is the coach of Kerala Blasters, and he's not doing extremely good. He's, I think, the last net table right now. So that's a different topic. We'll cover some other day. So we'll move into ATK Mohun Bagan, or team under Antonio Lopez Havas. So I'll be referring ATK Mohun Bagan as ATK because Antonio Lopez Havas coached them to victory last year, and most of the data that is here available will be on ATK that was of last year. So I'll be touching on Mohun Bagan also, because I have few amount of data of this year, but mostly primarily it is the analysis is done on the data available last year, and also you can find the images of this whatever analysis we have done on our Instagram page. You can go and see there. You can use it if you want. So yeah, so without wasting much time, I will go straight into the analysis. So yeah, so ATK Mohun Bagan, or ATK, as I already gave you the introduction, what it is, who they are, and what they where do they play. They play in the Indian Super League. They are also representing India or Indian contingent in the continental stage. I think they are in the AFC Cup. So yeah, so that is the logo. That is a new logo, and this is just a slide I wanted to include because this looked good. And I don't know who made the actual image, but yeah, whoever made, kudos to them. They have done a good work. So yeah, so we'll start with the official squad as it is, and yeah, we have goalkeepers Arindam Bhattacharya, Dheeraj Singh, and Avilash Paul. Avilash Paul doesn't get to play a lot. Arindam Bhattacharya is one of the best, if not the best, keepers India has right now, along with other keepers. But I think he's the most informed keeper. Dheeraj Singh, or he goes by the name of Dhir Singh in Instagram and social media handles. He's also one of the most brightest young keepers, and it's a shame that he doesn't get to play. And I don't know. I think he should leave, or at least on loan. And I think East Bengal, SC East Bengal were trying to get him, but yeah, they don't want to part ways, and it's a rivalry. Suppose they would want to part ways. So yeah, I think Dheeraj Singh and Arindam are the or Arindam and Dheeraj have been I have are very very instrumental in the sense that they don't have ATK Mohun Bagan don't have to look for goalkeeper option for a while now. Moving on to defense, they have Pritam Kotal, amazing. I think one of the best defenders right now in the Indian Super League, at least from the Indian contingent. He's the captain of the team. I think they have five captains, but I think primarily you see him leading the right side. Pravid Lars, amazing fullback, wing back, instrumental to how Habas plays. Then you have TD, whom they got this season, one of the best passers of the ball last season, and one of the best defenders of the Indian Super League. That I think in the past 2 to 3 seasons. Subhashish Bose, one of the highly rated Indian defenders, but has not played a lot of games in the recent years because of injury. But yeah, he's been doing good this season, and yeah, I mean like amazing player. Sumit Rathi, another young player, broke into the team last year, and I think he won the emerging player last year. You can find his interview in our page. Amazing guy, amazing bloke. You should go and check out the interview and go follow him on social media. He's a good guy. Salam, Ranjan Singh, I really don't know much about. You have Boris Singh. Then oh sorry, I said Subhashish Bose. Sorry, so I mistook Subhashish Bose for Sandesh Jingan. So I'll go back to Subhashish Bose. Subhashish Bose was not injured. He's been playing one of the most instrumental players in the side. I think he was with Mumbai City FC, and he was amazing player. He's one of the best players to have played. He's opposite of not being available. He's ever consistent, and he's one of the best, if not the best player in his position in the Indian setup right now. Then you have Sandesh Jingan, who is one of the best, or touted to be one of the best, but due to injury, he has not been playing a lot. I don't know how he ended up at ATK Mohun, but he was aiming for a move abroad, and there are rumors. I don't know. These are just rumors that he struck a deal with ATK Mohun that if anyone else comes in, like a foreign team, then they would not stand in his way. Whatever is the case, good and good for him, good for the team if they are successful at the end. Then you also have Ankit Mukherjee, the team, and I'm not including the underage categories because you have a lot of players out there. So in midfielders, you have Brad Inman, whom they got in this year. You have Carl McHugh, one of the most brightest players. He again didn't play a lot last year because of injury. Then you have Glenn Martins. You have Michael Susairaj, whom as we speak is undergoing treatment or is undergoing his recovery from the ACL injury that he suffered earlier this year. You have Michael Rain. You have Edu Garcia. You have Xavier Hernandez. You have Jayesh Rane. You have Sahil Sheikh. You have N Song Singh. Moving on to the forward section, we have Jobby Justing, who is again ACL injury when the season began. A bad injury, one of the bright players. Then you have Roy Krishna, one of the most deadliest informed striker since he arrived in the Indian Super League, and David Williams, a good Aussie. Manveer Singh, who scored the second goal in this year's first derby, that is the Calcutta Derby, that is ATK Mohun versus East Bengal. He scored the second goal, and you have Mohammad Fardin Ali Mola. I have missed out many players I have not included, and like Subhash and others. But I think Subhash. I don't know what's the scenario there because there were talks of him leaving. But yeah, so you can see the photo as in there that the photo shows is from ATK Mohun Twitter. This is when they were training before the season began. So we'll move on, jump into the match statistics, and the match statistics is the data is collected from 2010 to 2019, that is 28th of October 2019 to 27th of November 2020 this year. So we are not talking of current date, but 27/11/2020. So in between that period, they played 23 games. That is ATK, and they say ATK Mohun Bagan under Antonio Lopez Habas, and they have won 14, drawn 4, and lost 5. Amazing. That's amazing. That's a very good record. That's a 60.9% win ratio. You don't get that kind of ratio. You can see in the graph also. In the process, they have scored 42 goals, 42, and conceded just 19. Out of the 42 goals that they have scored, they scored 66.7% of the goals in the first half. Sorry, 66.7 in the second half and 33.3 in the first half. So they do make a late comeback or they snatch a victory in the dying moments. That's very evident even in this season. In many games, they have scored in the 90th minute or minutes post 80 minutes. And they have conceded 19 goals, and out of which 47.4% of the goals they have conceded in the first half and 52.6 in the second half. And they boast a goal difference of 23. Of course, that is better now because of the games that they have played, and they have won and they have played more. In terms of clean sheet, they have kept 11 clean sheets out of 23 games. That's almost 50% clean sheets. That's a big, like record. Like, I don't know who said this, so I'll say it anonymous, or you can correct me. But someone said, some great manager has said that if you don't concede, you won't lose. I think it was Mourinho, if I'm not wrong. Okay, so in the process, we'll talk about the formation that has been used. 3-5-2 has been used the most number of times, and after that comes 4-2-3-1, or we can even say a double six that Habas likes playing, and then you have 3-4-2-1, and then you have other percentage. So you have 4-2-3-1, 3-4-2-1, and others at 9.1%. So first we have 3-5-2, which is the base or the core formation. So when you say 3-5-2, even a five-man defense is considered as a 3-5-2, because sorry, not 3-5-2, it will come in the same 3-5-2, because it's like the two with fullbacks falling and defending. So in that case, it will become 5-3-2. And that's kind of same. It turn like like it's just like you start with the 3-5-2. So yeah, so like we'll move on. So we have, so as I said, the formations that have been like used here, and this was till 27-11 2020, and after that they have played 7 games. In the 7 games, I think 2 games they played with a double six, that is 4-2-3-1, and the rest, like the 5 games, they played with a 3-5-2 with three-man defense. So this is the primary setup that Antonio likes to play. You can see it's in the different stages. I'll move my image again from here, and yeah, so you see, like, the first on the top left is from 14-12, that is 14th of December 2019. It's a 3-5-2, and then you can go down. It is from 14th March 2020, so last season, ATK. It was a 3-5-2 again. Then again in these two, you can see 3-5-2, 3-5-2 flat, and you can see 3-5-2 normal, attacking, what you say. So as you can read, if you can read, I'll just read it out for you. Antonio Habas usually deploys a 3-5-2 system for his teams. As I've already said, they have used majority 3-5-2. He likes playing a fullback in his three-man defense. So his three-man defense generally are not all center defenders, which you tend to see generally. But in his particular three-man defense, one has to be, or he likes to play a fullback. You can see the first image on the top left. You see Pritam Kotal is primarily a right back, I would say. He can play center back, but he is a right back. So you can see Pritam Kotal in the all 4 images. But otherwise, you can also see in the second image, that is ATK versus Chennai FC, which was on 14th of March 2020. You have also have Sumit Rathi in the middle. So both are right backs or full backs. Also, usually in the three-man defense that he likes playing, the center defender, that is in the between, that is in between the two defenders, the middle of the three, is always a left-footed player. Is always mostly a left-footed player. You can see on the top left, Garcia, left-footed, Rathi, left-footed. So his center of the park is always a left-footed player. And yeah, so we'll move on from that. So you see, like, he likes a good combo, and generally the center person is the one who picks out the passes. So yeah, so we'll move on from that, I think. And yeah, so the 4-4-2-6-6 that I was talking is the other formation that is being used a lot by Mr. Habas for ATK and now ATKMB. This is how he sets it up. These are 3 instances that I have taken out. All 3 are from last year. One is against Hyderabad, one is against Kerala Blasters, and again the other one was against Hyderabad. This year also, you can see in the last 7 games itself, I think he has used it twice. I think once, I don't remember, against Switchall, but yeah, he has used it twice, and they're quite successful. So Antonio also likes to occasionally play with a four at the back with a double pivot midfield, which generally comprises of an attacking midfielder and a defensive midfielder. Here, preferably, he will likes to go with players with the same feet. So if you can see, you have Singh and Mandi over there in the midfield, and both of them are same feet. That is, they both use the same feet. Then you have Pranay Halda and Jayesh Rane, one attacking, one defending. Both of them like to go with the same feet. Although Jayesh Rane is not, I mean, he does play there, but he can play there, but that is not his favorite position. Then you have the other double pivot. You have Singh and Mandi again, one attacking, one kind of defending. Both of them play with the same feet. So in he also tends to play fullback in midfield. So that is also again something you can see a lot in his game. Like he will go a lot of times with a midfield with a fullback in the midfield if he thinks that is what suits his purpose. And this year, I think Carl McHugh has been one of the most instrumental and is one of the best defensive midfielders in the league. In 2019-20 ISL season, ATK played four games with four at the back, winning two, drawing one, and losing one. So that's a 50% win ratio and 50 25% drawing and 25% loss ratio. In the process, they scored 10 goals and conceded 3 goals, keeping 2 clean sheets. Not bad. So 50% again clean sheet ratio. So this is again one system which works extremely well for uh, Antonio Zavas's team, and you can see like in the three images, Roy Krishna has scored already 4 goals in the out of the 10 games that he has 10 goals that they have scored. I think they year itself he has you can see that how he has scored 4 goals already. So yeah, so you can see like Carl McHugh over here also in the second image. He's playing the center back, but yeah, he's another player who is doing extremely well this season. So the substitutions, we'll move on to the substitutions, and the first we'll talk about the average time of changes. So what is the time that Antonio likes to make the changes the most? The first change usually comes around from 65th to 70th minute. So it can be even be 63rd minute, but that's the general bandwidth that the change comes about. The second one comes around from 75th to 80th minute, and third one from 85th to 98th minute. Of course, these do not involve any in changes caused due to injuries, because that would be something like which is unforeseen and you can't predict that. But this is what he ideally changes, and the goals contribution by substitutes have been 9 goals and 3 assists via from last season to this season till 27th of November. So that's a lot. 9 goals and 3 assists is a 12 goal like contribution, which is not less, and those have been meaningful, especially I think against Bengaluru last year where the game turned around. And yeah, I think he gets his midfielders right most of the time. Not all, but most of the time he gets it correct. And we'll move on from that and we'll move to more. Okay, so my video just vanished. So we'll move on to the players substituted. So Jayesh Rane has been substituted the most in, and substitute out also. He is the person who has been substituted out the most. You can read the rest. I won't go through each and every. Xavi Hernandez is the most substitute out, so not Jayesh Rane. And the most three common most substitution that is performed by ATK last year and ATK Monbang this year has been Xavi Hernandez for Edu Garcia. That is Edu Garcia coming in and Xavi Hernandez going out in attack. And in midfield you have Pranay Halda coming in for Jayesh Rane. And in attack again we have Joby Justin coming in for David Williams, which will not be having this season a lot because Joby Justin is ruled out for the season because of ACL, for the ISL season at least. So we'll move on from there and to transfers this season. So TD has come in this season from who is again an extremely good player, 29 years old, and he can be one of the top hitting targets this season. And last year he played 20, not last 2 seasons he played 2710 minutes, a lot of minutes under his belt, and one of the best, as I said you. Again, out of the lot, Sandesh Jhingan is one of the young centre back, 27-year-old Indian. I don't know how they managed to get him, but yeah, they got him. And but he has not played a lot of minutes. He has only played nine. He has played how many? He has played 100 and 1633 minutes over the past 2 seasons, and he has been hampered by injuries, especially last season when he was with Kerala Blasters. He was ruled out for the season, so he would be looking for a good season under his belt so he can like get his move abroad. But yeah, he's a good player, and you can expect him to do well. And it's a good signing because he's an Indian player and one of the best, if not the best, Indian players out there in terms of centre backs. And Subhashish Bose, 25 years old, left back, amazing player. I will not say more. You can see there he has played 2,944 minutes in the past 2 seasons, ever present for whichever team he plays for, even for the national team. Amazing player. I'll move on. So Brad Inman, he didn't play. He's a new recruit from foreign, and he played 3,815 minutes in the past 2 seasons. So you see the caliber of players that ATK Mohun Bagan are getting in. Those are like highly experienced and players who are playing, players who are not players who are do not get to play in the other teams. They are players who are coming in and who have been playing continuous football. So they are not players who are not wanted. They are players who are wanted, and they still get to prize them away from their current teams or their past teams. Then you have Glenn Martins who has come in. Again, Glenn, you can see 1,180 minutes. Then you have Manveer Singh, who probably was the only person who didn't get play a lot. He played only 968 minutes in the past 2 seasons. So yeah, again, he's been doing good this season as well, at least in the Kolkata derby. So we'll move on to the key players. By the key players, you already know by what I've said. Roy Krishna, top player, not only for ATK Mohun Bagan but for the entire Indian Super League, especially with ATK Mohun Bagan in the AFC competition. I think Roy Krishna will be one of the best players to take this team much ahead. You can see the statistics. I won't mention more. Subhashish Bose, as I said you, and TD also, as I said you, they boast one of, if not the best, or they would be in the top three. Like in each and every statistic that they are known for, as in like for defense. If you see the defensive statistics, you will find TD and Subhashish Bose right up there in top five. In attacking, you will find Roy Krishna with any statistics up there in top five. So you can see all three of them have played amazing amount of minutes last year and the previous year, and it's amazing. It's amazing. And you can see the goal scores like Roy Krishna. Then you have David, then you have Xavier Hernandez, Edu Garcia, Michael Susairaj. Susairaj is the only one who is not present because he has been injured, but the other ones like David Williams, then you have Roy Krishna, they are still there and they will fire ATK all the way to at least the playoffs as of now, and we will see what happens later. So this is the complete picture, and I forgot to include methodology, so I'll just read it out from here. And if you want this, you can screenshot. I'll just put, or you can find it on our Instagram or Facebook page. So in terms of how does Antonio Lopez Abbas likes to play? First of all, as I said, he likes to play the three-man defense. He's kind of a defensive. He's kind of a defensive coach, or you can say pragmatic coach. It's not bad. It's his cup of tea, and someone else might like their cup of coffee, but tea is not bad either. So he likes his team to stay compact and does not prioritize possession and likes to hit opponents on the counter attack. You can go and see each and every game, and you can see the position statistics. Maybe one or two games in this team, that is Habas's team, may have more position, but generally it is quite low. So moving on from that point, and you can also see like how they like to score on the counter. Not only you can see a lot of games where the one that pops out to my mind very significantly is again the Manveer Singh goal against East Bengal earlier this season, where they hit East Bengal on the counter and they scored the second goal to wrap up the game. So ATK and ATK Monbagan this year do not give up quality chances to opponents. Opponents usually have a lot of shots but hardly any on target. So you'll find opponents clocking in around 20 shots, but only have them like 2 3 on target. So that they're having to take shots, but not good shots. Those are not good shots, and even if they are good, you have good goalkeepers. Arindam is quite good. So wing backs, as I said, you are instrumental in our system to provide a five-man defense while defending and also providing overlapping options during attack to stretch the other team and giving them a numerical superiority in all parts of the field. So basically, when you're playing a three-man defense, if you are being pressed and you have your two fullbacks come back, so you have a five-man defense, and to Better that the opponent have to have 6 men to have a numerical advantage. So that means they are defensively gaps in their team. And what happens is these two wing backs, as I said, you are the most instrumental. So they have to continuously bomb up and down. Like to provide numerical superiority against their opponents in all parts of the field. So this is very very important for them, and that's why I said you like how Prabir Das and Subhashish Bose, like last Susai Raj, who was injured unluckily, unfortunately, this season earlier, and he is the one of the most like players playing in those two positions are the most important in Habas's system. So despite ranking second highest in the amount of fouls committed, that is 294 fouls, his teams are very very disciplined as they did not receive a single red card throughout the season and ran sixth for the amount of yellow cards received. That was 48 yellow cards last year. So you can see they're very very well oiled team. They are engine. They are machine to break down, and but they do not give away fouls. They do not give away cheap fouls. They do not give away dirty fouls. They do not get cards. Either that's something they have learned. They have mastered the dark arts. I don't know. You can see they didn't receive a single red card last year. So that speaks volumes about the fouls that they concede or the way they play. So and I think so in conclusion, I think Mumbai City FC are the favorites because of the players they have bought this season. But all in all, Abbas with his experience in Indian Super League and with the core of the team retained this season, I think they will go and with the addition that they have made like TD, Sanjay Jingan, Subhashish Bose, Manveer, Glenn Martins, Brandon Mann, amazing additions. I think they will go. They might just go all the way again, and they might Habas might pull it off and be the coach who gets the fourth title or the first title to go ATK Mon Bagan this season. So I think like that is it from this video, and probably I will see you in the next video where I'll cover some other team. I don't know which team, maybe Bengaluru FC. Yeah, I think Bengaluru FC will be a good option. But yeah, I mean, I think that is it from this video. Till the next video, take care, stay safe. Bye. And also, please like, share, subscribe if you like this kind of content. If you don't, I mean, you have reached till this part, at least like and share. Don't subscribe if you don't like it. So yeah, so till the next time, take care, stay safe. Bye.
Player-wise, it would have to be Steven Gerrard, just because again before he became a journalist, he was someone I just admired massively in terms of the absolute complete footballer. I think if you were trying to like make a footballer in a factory, it would be Steven Gerrard, someone who, I think JB Carragher summed it up best once when he said, Steven Gerrard's biggest strength is he doesn't have any weaknesses.
The stadium. I don't see really need to do that. Mainly such a big spending, but it's true that it would be a fantastic stadium. That's not bad, but you have to be careful, and mainly at this moment when we are going to face a very difficult time.